morning, good evening, good day. To whoever's listening, sorry for the break we took. Needed some time for ourselves. Just 1 week, but now we're here. The Bedtime Podcast. How are you?
I'm pretty good. Yeah, sorry we took a week off, guys. Honestly, we were crate training the dog and wasn't getting much sleep.
Yeah, as you guys know, we told you on the Liz podcast that we got the dog. Crate training her was hard. I feel like we got a little bit of a taste of what it's like to have a child.
We're going to make people mad.
I don't give a shit. It is the closest thing to having a child.
Having a puppy?
Having a puppy.
I guess.
She's crying all night in the crate. She's screaming, howling.
It is close to having a baby because Noah slept through it and I was the one who was up and upset.
I'm worried about that. That scares me.
That you slept through it?
Yeah, I was totally fine.
I know. It concerns me.
The only time I couldn't sleep through is we put the crate in our bedroom.
That was a mistake.
And it was just, the howling was like hurting my ears. And then we moved her out into the living room and I just was able to sleep like a baby.
Anyway, I'm tired, so I'm going to go to bed.
Wait, I think we need to talk. It's the Bedtime Podcast.
Wow, Noah, do you know what it is?
I do know what it is. Do you know what it is?
Yeah.
What is it?
It's the 1-year anniversary of the Bedtime Podcast.
That's right, guys. If you have made it this far.
You're a real one. Oops, sorry. I cut you off.
Ugh.
Go for it.
If you have made it this far, you're a real one. You really are a real one. And if you're just starting to listen now, Jesus Christ.
You have so many episodes you can go back and catch up on. That's what I love about a podcast. Starting years in, and then I have years worth of content
to listen to
occupy me. Yeah.
Yeah. And you know, I'd like to believe that if you started right now, you would be getting the best podcast version of us. We have gotten better, I believe.
Noah had so many notes for me the first truly year of this podcast. And then I finally had to say, stop giving me notes. I'm the best part.
You gave me notes.
No, I didn't. Well, sometimes I would be like, that's offensive. Don't say that. Or that's not funny. Cut that.
Sometimes.
Almost every time, baby.
Yeah, what you guys don't know is we have stockpiles of raw audio of me just saying racial slurs that we've had to just cut. I mean, it's good comedy, but it's offensive.
It's really offensive. No, I wanted to ask you a couple questions.
Yes, so you're going to ask me some questions.
In honor of the 1-year Bedtime Podcast. Now, Noah wanted me to tell him the questions beforehand because he didn't believe I had thought them through. He thought I was going to make them up on the spot. And I said I didn't want to do that because I wanted him to be surprised and not be able to plan his answer. But the truth is, I didn't have anything pre-planned. So here we go.
So I was right.
You're right. Noah,
Okay.
What have you learned in 1 year of the Bedtime Podcast?
I have learned that we're very, very stupid people.
We really are.
We're very silly and very dumb. I guess I always knew that, but I think we are very good at talking about nothing for an hour.
Yeah, and I think we're really good at sounding smart when we need to, like job stuff. But like when it's just the two of us shooting the shit, like truly Noah will ask me questions all week and I'll be like, yeah, just something like this. Like I make those noises all the time.
What do you mean?
Now.
That's how you'll answer?
Yeah, that's how I'll answer.
Yes. I've also learned, like, I feel like because we talk to each other outside of this podcast.
Often, I'd say.
Every day.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're forced to talk to someone like this, and I really have to listen to you.
Oh, yeah.
I just pick up on things that you do. Like that, where you will not answer a question. But you'll replace the answer with fart noises
or blah, blah, blah.
And I think before we started that podcast, you would still do that, but I would just accept that as a legitimate answer.
Yeah, because I think everyone can read my mind.
You also, one thing I've learned is you sometimes, and I do this too, I'm sure, you sometimes forget to provide the context necessary for people to understand what you're talking about. You'll go right, you'll start later in the story, or you'll start later with the information.
Maybe I just think people are smart enough to catch up. Ever think of that?
Sure, but for our clips,
oh, right,
it's very hard to cut them if you're cutting in halfway through the story. That being said, you're very funny.
Thank you.
What else have I learned?
No, that's enough.
Okay.
Noah.
Rude.
What's your favorite part of doing the Bedtime Podcast?
There are a lot of things I like about doing this podcast. One, I like that it's an hour of conversation that we wouldn't normally have.
Yeah, because when we're home, we're not talking very much. It's like a lot of like.
That's not what I meant.
Oh, okay. You say what you were gonna say.
I mean, like, we wouldn't, when we talk at home, like, there's a point to what we're talking about.
Yeah.
But like, this is like us like being forced to find things to talk about that don't have to do with our life necessarily, you know?
Yeah, this is work. Yeah.
And it's also like a great way to get to know you. I feel like I've learned a lot about you through the last year of doing this podcast.
Like what?
Just different things in your life.
Like what?
The story about how like you had cum in your hair when you went to go see your dad.
Didn't you? Were you at my show when I told that story?
This is one thing I don't like is like you bring up things in real life that don't need.
Oh.
Why do they need to know that? Why couldn't you just go with it?
Well, I told them that I'd said it at a show.
Okay, but it's like, that's what I'm talking about. It's like, you don't need to bring, like, you provide either too much context where they're like, what? Wait.
Okay, fine. You didn't know the cum story. Keep going. You bitch.
What else did I know about you? Just stuff about your parents, like that Father's Day episode. I feel like I learned a lot about your dad and your relationship to him. I think also it's opened our mind to going on more experiences and trying to do things for the pod, if you will.
Yeah.
And also, I think sometimes something happens, like if we get into a fight and we're like, this is going to be pretty funny if we talk about this on the pod.
Yeah.
So like the fights can only go so far because eventually we know we're probably going to want to laugh at it.
Yeah.
What was the question? What have I learned?
I don't remember. I think it was what's your favorite thing about doing.
No, that was the first question.
No, that's the first question was what have you learned? Second one was what's your favorite part of the podcast?
Okay. So yeah, I like that it forces us to like learn stuff about each other.
Me too.
And have like a conversation that we wouldn't normally have and just talk about things that we wouldn't normally have. Selfishly, I feel like I've developed a lot of stand-up bits from things we've kind of hashed out or riffed on this podcast.
Yeah, because I'm a brilliant mind when it comes to stand-up comedy writing, and Noah, it's like basically Noah getting a free punch-up writer.
Yeah, I mean, it also just forces me to speak for an hour, and that is the best way for me to write. I'm not like a writer who can like sit down and just like start writing. Like I do need to talk about things.
Yeah, he needs to talk it out.
I need to talk it out, and also like we talk about things in our life, so I just it forces me to have an opinion and a take.
Yeah.
Well, that's another thing I think I've learned on a podcast. Like, whenever we bring up something this is like getting very into the behind the podcast, but maybe our listeners will like it.
VH1 behind the podcast. Yes, they will like this.
But like whenever we bring up something and don't have like a take, and it's just kind of like telling people like about something, but there's no like POV on it.
Yeah.
I find myself feeling very bored.
Yeah.
And either we cut that stuff or we pause, have a brief fight about it, and then figure out like, okay, how do we put our point of view on this, or is this just not something we're talking about?
Yeah, I do think that's definitely something you've learned, because I notoriously have a very strong POV. So it's not hard for me to say I hate something or something drives me nuts. Or
Sure.
I love something.
But you are the biggest culprit of being like, let's just talk about like how I like feel like blah.
But then
you'll like,
you don't let me get to my POV.
no, but you'll just like say something, like talk to us about like your day without, and like of the things that happen, but you don't have a POV on it.
I think you're wrong.
I'm not.
Well, my POV is that you're wrong.
Okay. Next question.
Okay. What if you could change anything about me on this podcast? What would it be?
Bigger tits.
Okay.
I will say I am very upset that you got a breast reduction before I got to look at those girls.
They were so saggy. Noah's not providing any context. A couple months before Noah and I got together, on my 26th birthday, I got a breast reduction. And it's the best thing I ever did. I went from a 32H to, I think I'm like a D now, double D. And my tits were the bane of my existence.
I cannot believe I didn't get to see them.
My nipples almost touched my belly button. They were so long.
Like, it's so unfair.
I had like when I took my top off, like at the consultation with the surgeon, she went, "Whoa, grandma boobs," which is terrible bedside manner. And she's probably dead now. She was really old. It was like her last surgery.
Whoa, girl got grandma boobs.
Whoa, grandma boobs. It was, and at that point, you couldn't hurt me when it came to my tits.
Did you laugh?
I was like, yeah, story of my life.
That is so offensive.
I know, but I'm telling you, I was 26. I had lived with these tits for like 11 years. They popped up when I was about 15, and you couldn't hurt me when it came to my tits anymore.
Here's the thing. I am happy you did it for you, but I just wish I could have seen them. I love big breasts. Everybody knows that about me.
I do feel bad for you, because every time I would like have sex with someone for the first time, they'd be like, "Oh my God, you were hiding those." And I'd be like, "I know, it's like a secret surprise." And they were like, "Oh my God, this is the best." So I do feel bad you never got to experience that.
It's also like you have no pictures of them.
Well, I would wear minimizers, like very expensive minimizers. My bra budget was out of control.
Well, that I'm happy about then.
I cannot express to you how expensive those bras were. Jeanette's bras, shout out. Thank you for making me feel like a smaller woman.
We could not afford to add another line to the budget for your titties.
Yeah.
I just add a line to the budget. It's grandma's boobs.
Grandma boobs.
Grandma boobs.
Yeah.
$50 a week.
That probably is about what it is. No, but you just have to replace them so often because your tits are so heavy. They just like stretch them out.
And when guys saw them and they were like, whoa, they liked them?
Yeah, of course.
But you felt like they were too saggy.
I hated them. Yeah.
But were guys like, oh, a little saggy?
No man ever said that to me.
Yeah.
And obviously, I just hated them. They made wearing clothes very difficult for me. I looked very top heavy. It was hell.
Well, even when like back then, I don't even remember. Like when you had those boobs and I knew you, I don't remember you being a well-endowed woman.
Yeah, because I wore the minimizers. I didn't find out about the minimizers till I was like 24. So I only got to wear the minimizers for about a 2-year stint. Before that, it was 3 sports bras and a sweatshirt.
Stop. You would wear 3 sports bras at the same time?
Yeah.
Oh my God, Syd.
Yeah, they were huge.
That's so sad.
I know.
Was it hard to breathe?
No. I just was like, I hate my life. I hate my life.
And did you have the classic back problems?
Yeah, I think I still do.
Really?
I mean, I have a lot of back and neck pain.
And you think it's from your grandma boobs?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's, a lot of combined factors, but...
You see, that's this is what I love about the podcast, is talking about these things that, maybe they were mentioned in passing, but, we could take a second here to talk about them titties.
I know. I hope the sleepyheads like this. Talk about my boobs.
Okay, so next question.
Well, that was it. The one thing you would change about me, and it's my boobs.
No, is that what I said?
Yeah.
Okay. No, I don't think I even answered.
Yes, I said, what's the one thing you would change about me on the podcast? And you said my titties.
What do you mean?
How do you think we got into this conversation?
I don't remember.
It was that.
So wait, you're telling me that I said that I want your boobs to be bigger?
Yes.
Okay, can I take it back?
Yeah.
I think your boobs are great.
I know.
I just wish I would have seen those just for an experience.
No, I wish you had too.
Just for one.
And if we had 3 wishes with a genie, I think it'd be okay to use one of them on that.
Just 1 hour with them.
Yeah. That'd be fun.
Can I also add to, because that's a very superficial thing. And
yeah.
What would I change about you? I don't know. I don't think I really would change much.
I will say I miss having cleavage.
Yeah.
I saw a girl at I'm doing Pilates now, and there was a girl at Pilates today just with big titties spilling out of that low cut sports bra, and I was like, damn, I wish I had that. That sounds nice.
Yeah, you don't really have that anymore.
I don't have it at all. And my boobs aren't tiny; they're just definitely not big.
Yeah. What would I change? I guess. Yeah, if you could stop providing extra context that's not necessary, I don't know why. It's a pet peeve of mine. Even with that boob story, you said I didn't provide the context, but I did. I said you got a breast reduction. That's all the context they need.
But they didn't know when.
They don't need to know when.
But it's weird if they think, it's weird if they think I did it yesterday or something.
I'm certain. First off, if you did it yesterday, you would not be able to do this podcast.
Yeah, I was in a lot of pain.
So yeah, maybe understanding how much context.
I think it's fun to know the whole story.
Can I ask you these questions?
Sure.
Syd, What have you learned in 1 year of doing the Bedtime Podcast?
I'm really funny and everybody thinks so.
100%.
Yeah.
Very funny. Is that it?
Yeah.
Syd, what's your favorite part about doing the Bedtime Podcast?
That you do all the work.
Yeah. What else?
No, that's literally my favorite part.
That's it? You don't like talking to me?
Oh, no, obviously. But you doing all the work is incredible.
No, but about the podcast itself, the recording, this process.
Oh. I think it just, like you said, exercises a muscle that doesn't get used too often in real life. Because how rare is it that you're talking straight for an hour? It kind of has to be entertaining. You got to be on. Which on for me is different for other people, than on for other people. Because on for me, it's I'm a bit gloomy still, I don't go all the way. There you go.
There's a yawn.
There's a yawn. It's been a while. It's been a while
since I've yawned on the Bedtime Podcast. Okay. And then what is one thing you would change about me on this podcast?
I would have you stop complaining about all the stuff I do that annoys you.
Yeah.
Just let me ride free, baby.
But I think it makes us better if we give each other notes.
I'd take the leash off and I'd let me run free.
No, I mean, I do.
I'd take the reins off and I'd ride bareback on me and just let me be a wild horse I am.
I think sometimes you don't realize.
You don't get to have comments on my things I would change about you. You don't get to argue with them.
Okay, so you'd want me to let you run free.
Yeah.
No notes.
No notes.
I just think we have to give each other notes.
I don't give you notes.
Yes, you do.
I know.
We have to give each other notes. We have to. If we think we can improve the pod, we must do it.
If we can improve the pod, we must. We must for the pod.
Well, guys, thank you for being with us for 1 year. And we are here for another year.
Let's hope so. Okay, now to the real business.
Okay.
Kate Middleton is missing.
I've heard.
And she has been since Christmas.
Yeah.
So no one's seen Kate Middleton. She hasn't been doing public engagements. And for those of you who don't know, Kate Middleton is Prince William's wife, the soon-to-be Queen of England when Charles dies.
Which he will die soon, right? Isn't he sick?
I don't know.
He has cancer?
I'm actually not a huge royal family fan, but I really like this story. And obviously I love Princess Diana, but she doesn't count anymore. Anyway, Kate Middleton's been missing. And they said she was having abdominal surgery and she was going to have like a gnarly recovery. But everyone is like, what? Recovery from abdominal surgery for like this long? Like, you can't even have, because now it's been like 3 months. You can't even post like an above the shoulders photo. Like, Kate is a warrior. Like, after she had her baby, like hours after she had her baby, she was out on the steps of the hospital in stiletto heels showing pics of the baby. And like childbirth and abdominal surgery, pretty similar. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so no one's seen pictures of her. So then the royal family or whatever, their PR team posts a very clearly photoshopped photo of Kate with the kids. Like the day before yesterday, being like, Happy Easter from the Windsors, bleep, bloop, bleep. And everyone starts being like, this is so clearly photoshopped. Like, what the fuck is going on? And then Windsor Palace is like, oh, never mind. Like, we don't know who gave us this photo. Like, sorry, this photo's wrong. And then they took it back.
What do you mean?
Like, they said they took the photo back.
Who posted it?
Like the Kensington Palace PR team.
And then they took it back.
Yeah, they were like, never mind, everybody forget about the photo.
Like, what do you mean they took it? They posted it on social media?
Yeah, and then they like deleted it.
And did they comment on deleting it?
Yeah, they were like, forget the picture. It's not real. Like, they commented on it, which they normally wouldn't do.
They said it's not real? I don't understand.
I don't know what they actually said because I didn't read it.
Yeah. I'm so glad we're talking about this.
No, because I really want to talk about like the theories because I think they're so fun.
Well, what do people think is happening?
Okay, so there's a couple theories going around. One is that she is having complications from having an eating disorder for so long, which is really sad.
She has one?
I mean, if you've seen photos of her, she is like scary skinny and has been for years and years. And the wear and tear an eating disorder does on your body is fucking gnarly.
Sure.
Like, so she could be having some serious surgery from that. The other theory is that she's leaving Prince William.
Whoa.
Which I hope that, well, that's my second one. I hope it is. My favorite one is that she's transitioning.
No way.
I mean, obviously, I think no way.
There's no way she's doing that.
That is my dream situation.
It's probably the first thing.
Yeah, it's probably the first
Sadly, it's the eating disorder.
Yeah, for sure. But I wish she was transitioning.
That'd be great.
I was like, this is a good idea for a movie.
I feel like that would not fly amongst the royals.
No, I don't think it would at all, which is like why I want it to happen because I'm like, we need to get these people like off the earth. I hate them.
I know they have a lot of money and resources, but I still think it would be such a miserable life to be born into.
Oh, it's terrible. I think one of my favorite podcasters says, Michael Hobbs, he says being in the royal family is a human rights violation. Like she can't even just like step away from the media for 2 or 3 months without everyone being like, she's dead.
Yeah. Or she's transitioning. Yeah, it's like we all strive for like wealth and money and whatever, success. Mm-hmm. All the royals want is privacy.
Well,
that's what they strive for. But
they kind of have like a contract with Britain. Like they basically have to be animals in a zoo to keep getting money. Like it's basically their job, but because it's a job you're born into, you kind of get no choice and it's sad. Kate Middleton married into it. Like, she could have just married some other wealthy guy. She's pretty enough. So I don't feel that bad for her, but...
Yeah, I just think it's so sad to just, like, all long for, like, privacy.
No, of course it's sad. And William cheats on her all the time.
Is that true?
Oh, yeah.
Why?
Because he's a disgusting king of England or whatever. He is so ugly.
What is this thing with cheating?
I can't understand this thing with cheating. You're not normal.
Me?
Yeah.
I think men of my generation all are confused by it. I think most men of my age, my peer group, are very confused by the older millennials and Gen X,
Boomers,
greatest generation, how normal that was for them. It seems like I was talking about this with a friend last night where it's like he goes on the road, he's a comic, and after a show he goes home and goes to sleep. Maybe he'll have a drink, but he's not but whereas older generations of comics would always cheat on their wives.
Yeah, maybe it's women are cheating more now, and I hope that's the case.
I could see that.
Yeah, I could see that. You go, girls.
You go, girls. Cheat away.
Cheat away.
You do it. That's so sad that you always have to be in the public's eye. Otherwise, just horrible rumors are spread about you.
Yeah.
Is there anything you would you like about a royal? Like is there anything about their life that you'd be like, I could do that? That'd be pretty cool.
No, it sounds so miserable.
You would be the worst candidate to be a royal.
Why?
Because you have to, first off, you have to always be around and be up and go to things.
Oh, you're right.
You have to always go to conferences and parties and talk about things and give speeches. You hate all that shit.
Yeah, you're right. I would be the worst royal. Sydney, there's another engagement today. Yeah, I'm not going.
I'm sorry, miss, but you have to go. I mean, it's for AIDS.
Can we do it next week? I'm tired.
No. You see, it's for children with AIDS.
It's curable now. It's not even a death sentence. What are we even doing still talking about this?
Right. Okay.
What is it, the 80s? Come on.
Yeah, I mean, it's it's hard enough to get you to do this podcast.
I know.
And we record it from bed.
I know.
We did, when we were coming up with a podcast, we were like, what's something we're not going to dread doing once a week? And we were just like, oh, we could talk in bed for an hour.
And I still have a hard time getting myself to do it. Just because it is work.
It's but going back to being royal, it is constant public appearance.
Yeah, I would.
That's the whole job.
I would be so bad at it.
I would be great at it.
Yeah, you would love it because it's just like talking to people all day. I would die.
To me, if you want to be a politician, it's the best parts of being a politician without the worst parts.
Well, yeah, because it's permanent. You don't have to worry about running and shit.
You just talk to people. You're a friendly face. I think maybe what must be frustrating is if you are a politician who's passionate about policy,
But I think each royal gets to pick something they're passionate about and do that. Like Princess Diana did the landmines. And then I think she also did AIDS. But she did the landmines were her thing.
What do you mean landmines?
She would go to places where they had big problems with kids being blown up in landmines.
From old wars?
Yeah. Yeah, and she would get eyes on that. So they each have a cause. I think Harry's was mental health, but I don't remember really. And shit like that,
Yeah. Well, Kate Middleton, if you're listening, we hope you're okay.
We hope you're okay. And leave him.
Cheat on him.
Dump him.
Cheat on him.
She probably does cheat on him too.
Speaking of elegant women, man, I sound like a real piece of shit.
I'm excited.
This is not a woke take. I don't really like body hair on women. That's probably my biggest ick.
And my biggest ick is that Noah doesn't like body hair on women.
That's your biggest ick?
No, but it really annoyed me when he asked me to shave my armpits.
I didn't like demand it.
Yes, you did. You said you're no longer attracted to me.
No. Syd.
He didn't say that.
You have to protect me.
Obviously.
I didn't say that. I said it is not attractive to me.
Yeah.
I'm no longer attractive to you.
No, I know.
Unless you let it keep growing.
Okay.
But sometimes, look, I get it. Sometimes you're tired, busy week, can't get to it. I will say, I don't mind leg hair as much.
But I'm blonde. You can't really, you can't see it really. And that, I have a lot right now. See that?
Yeah, it doesn't really bother me.
But once again, I'm blonde. You can't really see it.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me.
Okay, yeah. But if I had dark brown hair, I think you would hate it.
Perhaps.
You definitely would.
But
and you don't mind my armpit hair when it's short because it's also blonde. So when it's shorter, you can't see it that much. But when it's longer, you see it. And
I know there are men out there who don't mind this. I don't know any of them.
Really?
I don't know a single guy. I'm not saying that they don't exist. I know they exist because I've seen men out with women with very long armpit hair. Mm-hmm. But I don't, it's not like I think it's disgusting on if I see if a friend of mine is a woman and she has armpit hair, I'm not disgusted by or grossed out. I don't give a shit.
You just don't like seeing it sexually.
If we're having sex. Yeah. This is graphic, so bear with us. If we're having sex and I put your arms above your head and I see your armpit hair, I'm like, oh my God.
Has that happened?
Yes.
Oh, that's funny.
It's I'm like, oh God, what is that?
I'm like, why can't you get over this?
Because I'm like, are you a man?
Yeah. He also doesn't like when I wear muscle tees or boxers. You're having some internalized homophobia.
No, it's not internalized homophobia. I just don't. There are certain things that you wear that I don't know. See, this is one of the hardest things about being married. This is the hardest thing where it's
this is the hardest thing.
No, but it's this is a challenging thing to talk about. And there are things that you and I do that is unattractive to the other person. Yeah. And I feel like you should talk about it. I shouldn't insult you and be mean about it.
No, I'm glad we're talking about it.
But I feel like I should talk about it because if you don't and you keep doing it, it just could fester and lead to more behavior. And it's the last thing we want is to not be attracted to each other.
No, I agree.
But yeah, if
you don't mind, and this is graphic, you don't mind pubes.
I don't mind pubes.
You prefer them.
Yes, I mean I wouldn't say I prefer them. Well, I don't have a pube fetish.
No, but you prefer it to totally bare, right?
I would say it just that one is dealer's choice.
Okay. But they don't bother you.
They do not bother me.
Do you like them?
I don't like them.
Oh.
I don't not like them.
You don't have an opinion on pubes?
I am indifferent on pubes.
I think it looks so weird when women don't have pubes. Creepy Barbie, baby Barbie.
I'm not looking at pubes and I'm like, oh yeah. Oh.
No.
Yeah, bum bum.
But
yeah, bum bum.
Stop. I have a point to make. So, okay, picture your ideal naked body woman. Does she have pubes?
Yes.
Okay, see?
Yes.
Told ya.
Does she have armpit hair? No.
Yeah.
Does she have grandma titties? Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I just no, if the armpit hair is kind of not too long, it's fine. But it's when you lift up your arms and your armpit hair is almost as long as mine is when I am maybe we could do something about that.
Well, to be fair, I got to be perfectly honest. I don't like having it that much, so it doesn't matter to me.
Do you feel anti-feminist that you cut them?
No.
See, I don't understand maybe you can explain it to me. Is there like a feminist idea to growing out your armpit hair?
Yeah, because it's men who care that we have armpit hair.
But you care too.
I preferred shaved, but I'm sure I prefer it shaved because I was like raised to think that.
You're brainwashed.
Yeah. Because I don't like my leg hair either. And like, who gives a shit? So I'm clearly brainwashed.
Yeah. But it's just like,
I'm definitely brainwashed. Looks were so important in my house. It was hell. I can't, if we have a kid, I will walk around looking like a piece of shit to inspire them.
Yeah, but don't you want to be attractive to me?
If we have a baby, raising them to know that they're more than how they look is more important to me than you still being attractive to me.
But it's this is the weird thing. It's like,
I'm obviously joking.
No, but you are making a good point. I think that is the right thing to do. We don't want our child, if we have one, to have like a complex with how they look.
Yeah.
Like I 100% agree with that. That being said, it's kind of like, it's a gray area because if you want a partner, you do have to be attractive to someone.
Yeah, but you think I'm pretty without makeup. I don't.
100%. Makeup, like, yeah, I don't need you to wear makeup.
Well, then what else am I going to do? Like, there's nothing else.
You're talking about with the child.
Yeah.
I mean,
like, I'm still going to practice personal hygiene.
Yeah, I think like,
I'm not going to somehow make myself uglier.
I guess I mean, like, are you just going to be joking. Like, are you going to be wearing like cut sleeve shirts and sweatpants all the time?
No.
Do I sound like a piece of shit for like, is it bad that I don't like armpit hair? Is that like problematic?
No, I don't think it's bad. Because I think if I was like, I really like having the armpit hair and I'm keeping it, you'd be like, okay. And you would just deal with it.
Ugh.
You would.
But it'd be so smelly.
No, it wouldn't be.
It's just like, I'm telling you, like kissing you in bed. And then I take your arms and I put them above your head.
Stop. It's too graphic.
But it's just like big reveal. It's like a big reveal.
Well, then we would compromise and we would only have sex with me holding my arms really close to my, squeezing my armpits shut. Basically Pilates while we do it.
Yeah. I mean, how do you think most women feel about this? You think most women are like, I also don't like armpit hair, or most women are like, I wish I could?
Armpit hair's cool now. I told my friend about it and she was like, well, you can't shave it. It's cool now. Gen Z will make fun of you. And I was like, I don't really know a ton of Gen Z, so it's fine.
Gen Z is not shaving their armpit hair.
That's what she said. I don't know.
Gen Z, are you guys shaving your armpit hair? Can you let us know?
Sound off in the comments.
I feel like Gen Z is shaving their armpit hair.
I don't know.
I mean, at some point, it's too long.
It's frankly none of our business.
You know, if I was elected president, I would make it law that all women have to have shaved armpits against their will.
Gross.
Controversial opinion? I think so.
Well, I think we should get back to Romy.
Yeah, probably.
She's bopping around in her cone and she's not happy.
Yeah, we got her spayed.
Pretty gnarly.
Do you think she's dealing with the fact that she'll never be a mother?
No, but I'm worried she's mad at me, which is ridiculous. I'm being codependent with a dog.
Why do you think she's mad at you?
Because of the cone.
I mean, the great thing about dogs is I think they just kind of forget.
But then why are some dogs so like traumatized?
Good point.
Repeated abuse.
Yeah, it's got to be repeated abuse, but it's like we're doing it for our own good. So you just have to be like, fuck it. Like, I don't care if you're mad at me. Like, you can't lick your stitches out of you.
Yeah, you're right. You can't lick your stitches out of you.
So fucking deal with it, dog.
Yeah. Okay. Well, what are you into this week, Noah?
What am I into this week? Ugh. What are you into this week?
I have been going on a daily walk with our neighbor and her dog, and it's been really fun. And I'm just really into getting to know your neighbors and becoming friends with them because it's kind of like college. You're just like, hey, you around? And it keeps you young. Keeps you young.
Yeah. I'm really into the home office we've made.
Oh, yeah.
We had like, I don't know if you guys have ever had this experience where you like move into a place and you have one room in your house that's just a fucking mess for months. It's like a storage room and you don't know what to do with it and you don't use it. And every weekend you're like, I'm going to get to it. And you never fucking do. Last weekend, we finally got to it and created an office, and it's just crazy how much that changes your life. Like having a dedicated place to do work for me is so helpful. It makes me excited to go do work. I feel like I have my own place to be, to get away from the people who live in this apartment with me. From time to time. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I need to.
Yeah.
You have this place too.
Yeah.
So I'm very into my office.
I'm happy for
our office.
It's pretty much yours.
It's very nice that you just let it be mine.
I don't need an office. I write in bed.
You really do work just like kind of wherever you do it.
So does Lena Dunham. She writes in bed.
I get it. I can't.
All right.
But before we go, please write us a review.
I'm begging you.
They mean the world to us. We love getting them. And follow us on all the things. And I don't know. Anything else, Sid?
I have to go to sleep.
Good night.
Good night.
It's the Bedtime Podcast.